Okay, hello. My name is Saren Baden. Today we're going to be talking about single word man training in a child diagnosed with ASD utilizing a changing criterion design. A little bit about me is that I'm an ABA therapist, have been an RBT for about 3 years. The participant in today's study is a child that I have been working with for about 3 months now. I work with him on a daily basis. He is 3 years of age with a clinical diagnosis of ASD. He has a very limited vocal repertoire. We have about 3 words that we consistently use to mand. These are going to be no, go, and mo. Mo is going to be the target of today's study, which we're going to be shaping towards the terminal goal or terminal behavior of more. By doing so, we're going to be using a changing criterion design as well as shaping and contingent reinforcement. Previous research has showcased that changing criterion designs, functional communication training, and as well as shaping very much increases the occurrences of both manding as well as successive approximations of the terminal behavior of whatever word that we're wanting to teach. So the method of this study was me, as the therapist, was contriving opportunities to capture manned opportunities in my client. So preferred activities, handing him not quite enough play items, think puzzles, or think preferred food items, and just handing him the less than typical amount that you would need to either feed ourselves, finish a puzzle in this case, a train track, or most often in this study, we did wagon rides. So what's great about the wagon rides is that it was a two-party system in which I am pulling, he is riding, and I could stop anytime that I wanted to. Prompt functional communication by him to vocally request Mo, and then eventually shape that to the terminal behavior of more. And so with this study, we did just that. We started in baseline just to kind of get a frame of reference into how often, how successfully, and how frequently we engaged in problem behaviors, but how successfully we manded Mo. Mo is something that we collected data on during the baseline phase just to see how often we said it, how consistently we said it, and how easy and possible it would be to move on to the next goal in the B phase, which is more without the E. And so as you can see, we kind of floated around on average about 75% of manned opportunities we successfully said Mo. And so going off of that, we moved into our B phase more, which started off a little bit rocky, which of course was to be expected as we were changing the criterion in which we receive reinforcement, making it a little bit more stringent. First session, we're about 60-ish% of opportunities manning more as we slowly start to learn the behavior and learn the criterion we need to present to gain reinforcement. And as soon as we get it, we get it. We start moving up to 80%, which is going to be our clinical criteria. And we stick around 80, move up even further to about 85, closer to 90. So once we get that behavior, we get it. And then moving on to our secondary B phase and our changing criterion design, again, we see a large dip, lower than the first time, about 50, 55%. We see that for a couple of sessions. This, again, is to be expected as the criterion for reinforcement has been changed. We're making it a little bit more stringent. We're saying more, 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 but not quite getting our reinforcement because we need our terminal behavior of more. That is the man we're looking for. And as soon as we get it, once again, we get it. We have it at about a level 80% for a couple of sessions. We dip back down to around 70, 68, 70 for one session, and then move back up to 80, 85, 90% and kind of stay at that level for the remainder of this study. As such, we demonstrated the ability to meet each criterion level with performance stabilizing above the mastery threshold, suggesting both acquisition and not only acquisition, but strengthening of the functional communication skill was met in Bear. To talk a little bit more about the study itself, I was the only one conducting the study. As such, there is nothing to be spoken about generality. This study was conducted only in an ABA setting and only in a clinical setting and only with the primary therapist. As such, I cannot say if this behavior would be displayed across settings, across participants. That is one thing that I would absolutely love to fix in future studies if I have the opportunity to do so. Another thing is the study did not incorporate IOA as I was the only one implementing, conducting, taking data, writing up. I was the sole person involved with the study. Going forward, I would love to collaborate with others, get a little bit more IOA just to ensure that there is internal validity. But for the purpose of this study, which again is a school project, I'm happy with our results. Okay, thank you very much.